Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Ready for our first podcast. Can't believe we're here already.
I know, right? All this planning it took forever, but now we're here and ready to go.
Yes, we are. I'm excited for our
So,
first show.
hey, all right. Well, let's get going. Hi, everyone. My name is Angel Reese. I'm a social worker and an associate therapist. I'm thrilled to be here on this podcast with a passion for helping others. I'm excited to share my insights and experiences with you all. Listeners, I'm also absolutely thrilled to have someone that's incredible joining me on this podcast journey. Please give a warm welcome for Jolie, a social worker who's who works for Children and Family Services with her passion for child welfare. Cho brings a unique perspective that perfectly complements our discussions together. We are excited to dive into the social worker's teacup with our various topics and sharing insights, stories, and laughter along the way. And I know some of you are wondering, what is the social worker's teacup? Social Workers Teacup is a transparent, educational, authentic, collaborative, unconditional, and purposeful conversation that will happen for you all. We're excited to bring some hot topics that we'll be discussing, such as mental health stigma, social justice and equity, trauma informed care, cultural humility, social child welfare, community development, substance abuse and addiction, aging and gerontology, advocacy. And for today, our topic is self care. So, without further ado, let's get started with our first topic. We're going to talk about self care on a professional
Yes.
and a personal level.
Yes. Thank you for that awesome introduction, Angel. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm happy that self care is our first topic. I feel like when we talk about social work, like the next topic is self care. Like we always are thinking about self care. When I was in college, it was all about self care. Make sure you take care of yourself. Take your breaks, eat your lunch, take care of yourself. All these things, about self care and things that you're supposed to do. But, looking back on my journey, I just feel like it's been a long journey to figure out what self care for me looks like.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And self care, it involves various dynamics that encompass our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being on a personal level. And self-care is crucial, especially in
Mhm.
the field of work that we do. Because what we do is it's very demanding and often it's emotionally taxing on our
Yes.
on our on our souls. So it's important that we learn how to self-care.
Yes, I definitely agree. I feel like I've been doing this work for over 10 years and I feel like I just hit the tip of the iceberg of my self-care. Um, I finally went to therapy. After years of preaching it to my clients, I tried it myself and it literally left me thinking like, what was I doing for self-care back then? Like, I don't know if I was doing it right, and shout out to my therapist who's been so great and really like giving me the opportunity to do a lot of work within myself. So figuring out what really works for me and what I'm ultimately looking for. I feel like a lot of times self-care could be very, it could be surface, but I think for me what I was really looking for, and when I say my journey, it was really an internal journey looking for, what brings me peace, like what makes me gives me peace so that I can deal with the trauma at work. What are those
Yes.
things that contribute to my life so that I can do the work that I want to do? And it took me a long time to get here. And I feel like, with therapy, I was able to do that and really explore what that looks like. And I'll share with you one thing that was so thought provoking with me, and also share with our viewers and kind of hoping to get feedback and comments about what this, how you can relate to this or what this means for you. Is she asked me what my cup would look like if it was overflowing. And when she
Mm,
I had no idea how to answer. I
yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
what it meant because I was so burnt out. I was depleted at home, at work, and I was just really trying to figure out, like, how do I get myself back on track? Like, how do I keep doing this work? Like, how do I make this work? So,
Right,
definitely.
right. And in that process, were you able to figure out how to uh, empty some of that stuff in your cup, or
You know,
how to now let your cup fill up so it's overflowing?
yeah, or like be completely empty is more like it, like filling it back up for myself is really spending time with myself, really looking inward,
Hmm.
like I said earlier, like spending time with myself. Like, I don't, initially I always thought I need to be on vacation. I need to be away. Like, that's
Yes.
the only way I'm gonna get self-care. But now that some time has passed, I learned that I don't have to be on vacation to do self-care, you know?
No, no.
One simple thing, like I could be at home, like I could be quiet. I could
Yes.
really listen to what I need. And maybe
Yes.
it's some quiet time. Maybe I need a little getaway. Yeah, but really just listening to myself and finding the time to do the things that I want to do. That was a big, really big thing for me. Like becoming a new mom and doing this job, like one of my goals was doing something that I wanted to do for myself was a big thing.
Yeah, yeah. So, what I'd like for us to kind of just go into discussion about is some key dynamics around what personal self-care looks like, and then to explore how self-care manifests in social workers, and
Yeah.
because it can look different. And
Mhm.
so, when we look at the key dynamics in our personal life, that's kind of some of the things you touched on, like being
Yeah.
aware and mindfulness, knowing when you need some emotional self-care, knowing mentally when you need to pay attention to what's presently going on for you, having
Yeah.
self-compassion, right? Treating
Mhm.
yourself with kindness
Yes,
and
definitely.
understanding that is crucial in self-care. Like, we have to have self-compassion and being able to set boundaries, healthy boundaries, right?
Mhm.
Um, knowing when to say no
Yeah.
and avoiding harmful uh, situations for yourself.
Yeah.
um, Choosing healthy lifestyles, having just regular exercise, if that's taking a morning walk, an afternoon walk, or
Yeah.
evening walk, maintaining a balanced diet,
Mm.
choosing from all of the food groups and not leaving one particular food group out,
Oh, man.
having to be able to emotionally regulate yourself,
Yeah.
identifying and managing our emotions. That's huge. It's vital
Yeah.
for self-care, you know. Um,
Mm.
healthy ways just to seek support when it's needed and practicing those techniques. I always tell people, just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
That can
Yeah.
be so fulfilling, just taking a deep breath, right? People call it
Mhm.
sighing, whatever you call that, that deep breath
Yeah.
that you have to do. Like you said, seeking support, using your friends, your families, or getting professional help from a therapist. That
Yeah.
that is crucial. Knowing when you need to reach out, right? It's not a sign of weakness. That's a
No.
sign of strength. When you're
Yeah.
seeking that help from someone, that shows that you have great strength and that you're able to support yourself. And then the one thing that a lot of people forget is to just self reflect. Reflect
Yeah.
on your life, reflect on your goals, your priorities, allowing yourself to access whether your current habits and activities align with your well-being or not. Like,
Mhm.
and if not, make some changes and learn how to make those changes. Engaging in things that bring you joy,
Yeah.
right? Being
Definitely.
being flexible and adaptive to your environment or even challenges that approach you. And then continuously learning and growing. Some people feel like, oh, I'm not in school anymore. I don't need to learn anything. But
Yeah.
we should be learning something new every day because that enhances both our professional and our personal development.
Yeah. I totally agree. I think all those things that you mentioned, I can definitely just see myself checking off, self-care, like, at work, like, okay, relying on coworkers.
Mhm.
What I think is so essential to our work is because, our coworkers, if you can find, like, a, good set of coworkers that you have really connected with, they can be, like, great sounding boards for you, a great support for you overall,
Absolutely.
because they know exactly what you're going through. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think about some of the other things that you said, like taking time to listen to yourself. In the midst of all of that, like even for me, like as a social worker, you're just like, when do I have time to eat healthy, take a break, take a walk, think about my health and I totally get it. And it's like I feel like if we just start small, like
Yeah.
just sit at your desk, like move it's something as simple as like move your body. Like a 5-minute walk, like, go outside, get some sun, come back, you know? Just something
Yes.
as small as that. It doesn't have to be huge, you don't have to run a marathon, you don't have to run a mile, like, just walk, like, move your body, get out, get moving, do something for yourself. Like, what's that
Yeah.
one thing you do for yourself? Keep it simple, and I think that can really help you because I feel like it's been very beneficial to me to really just keep it simple. Like, don't
Yes.
overcomplicate things because we're already making so many decisions, just keeping it simple. Like, I'm gonna just go outside. I'm gonna just take a little walk and come back, you know?
Right, right. And it's important because we're talking about on a professional and a personal level. And so here's how self-care can manifest in social work when
Yeah.
you combine it with personal. So emotional resilience, like social workers frequently encounter individuals and families facing difficult circumstances. We come across people in poverty, abuse, trauma, mental health issues. And so for social workers who are involved developing their emotional resilience, it can be challenging and
Yeah.
it can increase that burnout if you don't take control of your emotional resilience, right? Supervision and peer support, you just talked about that. That is so important to have that relationship with your coworkers because they're in this field. They do the same work that we do. They
Yeah.
understand what we're going through. And they're able to bounce off ideas off of each other and provide that work support that you need, especially when you're
Definitely.
dealing with those difficult cases.
Oh, yeah.
And then setting professional boundaries. Work stays at work. Like, you have to be able to take care of yourself. Well-being is important. So understanding when to detach
Yeah.
emotionally from work or from a difficult case.
I think that's
It's
a dance that we do, and we
Yes,
learn that dance over time, and then eventually we get better at it. Would you agree? Or, like,
I
what are
agree.
yeah.
And that's the one way that we can help prevent compassion fatigue or vicarious trauma is learning how to detach emotionally from those difficult situations, right? Because we're
Yeah.
talking about self-care, and in self-care, you want to know how to prevent that compassion fatigue and that burnout in this job because again our exposure to
Yeah.
so much is so taxing on us, right? And
Yeah.
then finding that work life balance, balancing work responsibilities with professional life, it's essential for preventing that burnout. And
Yeah.
um, what that looks like, it's going to look different from everyone. But again, we talked about taking that personal time, taking those regular breaks,
Yeah.
prioritizing your exercise outside of work. It all helps with our well being. Um, Regular self reflection,
Mhm.
if we put this into practice, including our strengths, it will help us grow emotionally. Self reflection, it encourages us to learn and develop. It
Mhm.
enhances our professional competence and awareness. So it's very important that we regularly self regulate ourselves at work.
So, Angel, can you share with us kind of like, oh, I know you've been in this profession for a long time. Like, what are some things that you have come to learn about yourself over the years that's really helped you sustain your career in social work?
So, some of those things that I share, my cohort, my coworkers, we do a lot of reflection with each other. We talk about a lot of our hard cases, and we bounce off of each other ideas and things that we do. I use supervision, when I
Mhm,
have those difficult cases or things that come up. I
mhm,
definitely have that one-on-one with my supervisor to get support and run things past her. So, encouragement, finding encouraging things that workshops,
mhm.
training, finding those things that can foster my education and give me the support that I need to help me get through. I anybody at work will tell you if there's a training, I will be in that training.
Yeah. For me, like one thing that stands out that I think about that I've really been like implementing into my work that I often forget because it's like second nature to me now that I used to didn't do was focusing on my transitions. And I think
Mm,
that really helped me a lot over the years. It was the first time I went to therapy, and one thing she told me was, Cho, this is a time, it's really small, but you could work on focusing on your transitions. So on your drive home or whatever that looks like for you, like acknowledge what you're feeling um before you leave, but leave it
yeah,
there. And then use that
yes.
time to get to where you go. And even now, I try not to rush from visit to visit. I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I'm not I noticed that I wasn't giving myself enough time in between families because I'm in the car reeling from my last visit, that it wasn't
Yeah.
fair for my clients that I wasn't present for them or even present for myself. Because not only was I driving, trying to eat, trying to get to figure out the directions to the next visit, like now I give myself time, like, okay, Cho, use the bathroom, fill up your water bottle. Did you pack your snack if you're going to be gone all day and doing multiple visits? And a lot of
Mhm.
these visits are very taxing on our bodies and our minds and our spirit because we're oftentimes listening to things that are not uplifting, like because people are going through hard times and these are traumatic for us to relive with our families. So I feel like me giving myself that time to process and kind of feel what I'm feeling and that self-reflection is so important. It really,
Yeah.
I would say, makes really a big difference when you take the time to do it and to recognize that transitions are so important because if you ask a lot of new workers now, they're going from visit to visit. I need to see this kid. I need to see the next kid. I need to call this person. Or
Yes.
anytime we have in the car, we're on the phone or checking
Right.
email. We're on all day, and that is not sustainable. But I understand
Yeah.
it's part of taking care of kids and making important decisions and being part of people's lives. And these things count and they matter. So, but we matter too.
Yes, absolutely. We
So,
do. And uh, we've had such a great conversation. Overall, self-care is dynamic. It's
yeah,
multifaceted process that requires ongoing attention, effort, and self-awareness. It's about making choices that prioritizes our well-being and nurturing a positive relationship with ourselves. Self-care for
definitely.
social workers is an ongoing process that requires attention to emotional, physical, and professional well-being. And by prioritizing self care practices, social workers should be able to sustain their passion for helping others while also nurturing their own health and resilience. So, Cho, I want to thank you for a
Yes,
wonderful, wonderful session. Um,
yes,
if you liked our discussion today, don't forget to subscribe and to rate us, review us. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, or you can email any questions that you want, topics that you'd like to hear from us at socialworkersteacup at gmail.com. all one word, socialworkersteacup@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you
And
soon.
yeah, we definitely are looking to hear what your comments are. Tell us what you do for self-care. What did you think about our topic? And what does it look like to have your cup overflowing? We would love to hear from you. Thank you for listening. And thank you, Angel, for this
Thank
awesome
you.
conversation. All
All
right.
right. Have a great day.